ask somebody who's your favorite actor, you would be like Akshay Kumar, Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan. And when I asked my dad who's your favorite actor, he said Nana Patekar.
Do you have scenes with Kunal Khemu?
I have a very interesting scene with Kunal Khemu, and I was very nervous while doing that scene. My father was a criminal lawyer. Once he saw Munni Badnaam Hui, and he saw Malaika Arora Khan. Tanuj and my tuning was so good as actors, and that's also because we are very good friends and the chemistry is seen on screen.
Divya, welcome on Bollywood Hungama.
Hi.
Congratulations for all the successes that you've had so far. I've been watching your interviews since morning today. And my first question to you would be, how would your father would have reacted to the promo of Abhay and your work in Abhay?
How sweet. You've really done your homework well. You know my intention behind my entire life. I think my father was a criminal lawyer, so it always fascinated him to watch these crime thriller shows where he could understand, a lot about his profession, and, that used to excite him a lot. And I still remember when he watched Gangs of Wasipur for the first time, he said, Divya, you are an actor, you should do such films which show a lot of rawness and a lot of crisp, raw India, which, it's not about the story which he was excited for. It was the way there's no beauty kind of thing and like makeup and hair and some nice fancy dresses. It was just as it is, like it was a cultural representation in the terms how they look and the language and it always used to excite him. So I think he would have reacted. He would have been very happy because since Cartel, it's been all into this zone, crime, thriller, all of those chase, chore police, everything has been very common. So I just hope he's happy.
Right, and a few music videos thrown in, so I think that he would have been happy with that as well. Apparently, he was a Malaika Arora fan. And,
oh my God. So, when I was growing up, and he used to always appreciate my talent of dancing. And it was very weird because, honestly, he was a very strict father. He was extremely disciplined and extremely strict. But when it used to come to my talent, he gave me the entire freedom of exploring my talent. And once he saw Munni Badnaam Hui, and he saw Malaika Arora Khan, and she was dancing like that. Malaika has always delivered the best of the item numbers in my eyes so far, and she looked lavishing in every move. And I think my father was watching and he's like, Divya, can you pull this off? And I'm like, I don't know, Papa, I will try. And there was this stage performance I remember from my academy, and I danced on Munni Badnaam Hui. And as soon as the performance ended, my father was sitting right in the front chair. I'm like, did I? So he just said like, okay, fine. I get it. You can. So it was always a funny banter where he used to show me, give me an insight of how he thinks about the film industry in his eyes. But when I used to ask as a child, if you ask somebody who's your favorite actor, you would be like, Akshay Kumar, Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan, these are your favorite actors. When I asked my dad, who's your favorite actor? He said Nana Patekar. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, I was so naive, I was so little that only the hero and the heroines were like those things which were like, oh my God. But then he gave me an insight, listen, there are characters. There are these actors who are real actors. He used to explain me these little things, give me an insight. And he's like, then now you decide where you fall into, which category you fall into, where you want to go ahead. So do you want to still continue acting when you're 60 and 70s and then, you want to embrace your age like that? Or you want to be this very glamorous actress who's like the charm of the film? And so he gave me an insight and I just thought that I want to be both. And he was quite happy with that decision that, I am exploring as an actor, I'm exploring all the sides. And doing well.
No, absolutely. You're doing extremely well. I think you've got a very, very impressive fan following and some very fine work that you've been doing. So, as I was watching your interview, so मैं आपके एक कोई 4 साल पहले का इंटरव्यू था, कोई 4 महीने पहले का इंटरव्यू था. So मेरे एक माइंड में एक बात आई, because so I have a daughter myself. So my thought was that when you're at a certain stage, you tend to grow very very quickly, and even in terms of wisdom, I think you keep on acquiring a lot of wisdom on the way. So one of the thoughts that I had was that I don't know how your father would have reacted when he would have seen you today, maybe because your conversations are different now.
Yeah.
There is an element of maturity which is coming in, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I think this was his entire life motive when I was growing up. He gave me an insight, as I said, about each and everything. And he used to focus on those little things which made me feel like, okay, this is how a person should be. And for me, you have a daughter, you would understand. I mean, the bond is so protective towards each other that, at times it used to get initially when I started saying that I want to become an actor or probably I want to be somebody in the industry. He was a little scared because of the things that a middle class family hears about the industry, and that fear of my father was later. I had to work on it a lot. I did not revolt. I did not create any scene. He just saw my hard work. He just saw the dedication and how pure I was going towards it. And there was a day I still remember when all of these restrictions, whatever I was been bound to, the strictness and the discipline I was bound to, was suddenly lifted from me. And that was the realization that my father. I asked my father, "आप अभी कैसे आपको चलेगा? मैं बाहर जाऊं friends के साथ night out के लिए? Will you be okay with it?" And then he just replied to me that I know now you're capable enough to know what is right and wrong for yourself. And now I take a back seat and I just want you to fly. And it was and then as a daughter, it never felt like to go against anything that my father wouldn't like. It was just a natural process. It was just the hard work that kept me believing कि नहीं यार जाना है तो मस्त अच्छे से जाना है. Will do my hard work. It's okay if I don't get films right now. It's okay if I don't get the big things right now, but I want to learn and reach there.
When I lost my father quite a few years back, so my first impulse was, so my elder brother told me that just get back to work as soon as possible, and that is the best way to combat the sense of loss. When I'm seeing this sort of buzz that is there around Abed 3 and your performance in it as well, so whatever I've been told, you seem to be a different person from what you were maybe say in Cartel, for example, or Big Boss OTT. तो क्या आपको ऐसा लगता है कि वो एक escape जो होता है, to just escape from the suffering in a way, you put every energy maybe in your work? Did you do that?
Honestly, it doesn't really help when it comes to work, putting everything onto work, but it definitely gives you a breather of understanding that you have to make your life. And probably with me, the scene happened that I became the most responsible one in the family after my dad, and the responsibilities made me super strong, and work felt like worship. And I used to work earlier, but the thrill and the strive to do more, the intensity just increased and the seriousness just increased after having responsibilities on my shoulder. So with acting, I think it's a great escape for me to come out of what Divya Agarwal is and try out some shoes of the character, right? And but also when I was growing up as a child, people used to ask me, what would you like to become when you grow older? So my answers were different every time because I used to get fascinated with whatever was going on. Like, oh, I want to be a pilot. I want to be a doctor. I want to be an engineer. I want to be this. I want to be that. And then, later in years, in few years, and with so many life experiences and jobs and multiple professions, I felt like, okay, I think acting is the best for me. I think I get to choose everything, what I couldn't be or what I could be. So I think that is an escape in real sense.
When it comes to Abhay 3, for example, what sort of actor have you discovered within yourself through Abhay 3?
Oh my God. So I have literally got an alter ego character, which is so opposite to what Divya Agarwal is. Because Harleen, the only reason I could, a little connect to the character in Abhay 3 was because Harleen is also an influencer. And I am also an influencer in my real life, apart from being an actor. And half of the things what Harleen does is what we do as influencers. But the other side of the influencer is so dark and so gory that it used to actually make me think, and it skipped my beat when I used to say something which was so against my will, which like the dialogues and the scenes, and it just felt super challenging. So I think that kind of influencer is somebody you never want to be. So that is the complete opposite of Divya. That's the evil version of Divya, probably. And I really want fans to hate me in the show. So that validates me as an actor. Like I've successfully planted a small seed, a small doubt of, can Divya Agarwal be that crazy in the head? Maybe what we see is not true. That's where I get my validation. Like, yes, I've nailed it.
So you think that negative characters, they are tough to play, and they are sometimes more engaging
For
than
me,
the positive ones?
I think it depends from actor to actor. As for me and Tanuj, I think we are quite liberal actors. So for us, breaking the boundaries and going beyond what you can think was a fun challenge. So in negative space, you have the complete freedom to remold yourself and do something that you cannot expect. Like Tanuj and my tuning was so good as actors, and that's also because we are very good friends and the chemistry seen on screen is only because we both were such liberal actors that if in a scene I would just push Tanuj from the 20th floor, he would run, come back, and just ask me, was the scene good? Did I fall great? And it's the same with me. Like if he just slaps me in the middle of the scene, I wouldn't be like, "What the hell? This was not written in the script. How would you take it?" I mean, there's no filter. So I think that that really helped us expand our negative roles. But obviously, for some people, being in a positive role could be restrictive, because there are so many things that are supposed to be layered in a positive character. Like, okay, the positive character, they don't scream, they're mostly introvert. Now how do I become an introvert? So it depends from actors to actors, but I would definitely like to say that negative roles catch more eyes, maybe because that is something people have not seen.
That is something that people have not seen. And do you have scenes with Kunal Khemu by any chance?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I have a very interesting scene with Kunal Khemu, and I was very nervous while doing that scene.
Okay, and why were you nervous?
Because obviously you've seen him since ages, playing such amazing roles and characters. And then, I still remember the first day, Tanuj and I, we decided, let's go to his vanity and let's meet him up. And he was quite warm, quite welcoming. But then he just asked us, did you guys have breakfast? And it felt like an interrogation. I'm like, oh my God, Abhay is here. It's not Kunal Khemu, it's Abhay here. We could feel the seriousness of the role and the character. He was in the character, and that made us feel like, yaar, masti karne nahi aaya. We have to really work. Okay, Tanuj and I were like, yaar, he looks very determined.
Intense.
Like we need to get determined. I'm like, yeah.